Hello once again, class. This is Scott Munger again. As of this point here, we've completed all of our previous concept stuff. So today, we're going to go over how to set up SAM. So in this video, hopefully, by the time you see this, you already have your book, because from this point on, you need it. So if you bought your book from the bookstore, it also came with probably a little orange card. Hopefully you didn't throw that away, because that's actually about 70% of the cost of the book. Now our book is Microsoft Office 365, Office 2016 Introductory. If you bought it at the bookstore, it came with the SAM card. If you bought it separately, then you have to buy the SAM code separately. I think the SAM code also comes with an ebook if you wanted to just buy that. Although it's a little more difficult to use the ebook, unless you have a laptop or something where you can kind of put it to the side and do your work on one computer and use the laptop to read. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to assume that you got your card. If you don't, though, you can actually still log into SAM and still actually use it for 3 weeks. So the very first thing you need to do is go to sam.cengage.com. When you've done that, it will go to a page that looks very similar to this, minus the login information. If you have a SAM from a previous semester, it probably will not work anymore because we're using a completely different version. This is the 2016-365 version. Last semester, we're using 2013. So if you have an older SAM, then it's not going to be valid anymore. Now, if you have your card and you're ready to go pretty much, you can click New User. If you haven't bought SAM at all, you can always go to their site. I think you can type in the ISBN number for our book and probably get to it from there. So you can buy it online. You can buy the card also at the bookstore in Senatopia or at DeSoto Center. Well, from this point on, we're going to go ahead and set it up. You're going to be a new user most likely, so just click New User. The code that they ask for is the institution key, not the one that's on your card. So it's going to start with the T, 203-1862. This is basically the code that identifies Northwest. If you put in a different code, you're going to sign up for a different college, and I don't think you can really change that once you've done it. So make sure that you've got the right code in here. And once you hit submit, it should say Northwest Mississippi Community College. If it says somebody else, cancel and do it again. But as long as it says Northwest Mississippi Community College, you should be okay. Then you just hit OK. Now at this point, it's going to ask for your 18-digit key code. That's the code that's on that piece of cardboard. It's not actually a CD or anything. It's a code for this online software. Now, once you set this up, if you don't have a card, you can just say enter it later, and it gives you 21 days. 21 days to use SAM. Once the 21 days are up, it's turned off, it's locked out, you can't access it anymore. So I probably said this before, but you absolutely have to have a book and the SAM stuff you want to get through the course. The book more so than SAM, mostly because we'll have probably more assignments that come from the book, but we're going to have assignments that come from SAM as well. Now, if you have your code, you type it in here, whatever it happens to be. If you have capital letters, then it needs to be capitalized. Numbers, then it needs to be numbers. I don't believe you need the dashes, so just put in the actual code itself. Now 0 and the letter O look very similar when they're typed in here. On the card itself, if there's a little like slash down the middle, it's a 0. If there is none, then it's the letter O. So keep that in mind. Once you put your code in, it will ask you to put in your personal information. If you don't have one yet, you can just click enter later, and you'll still get to this same screen. This is where it asks for your name and your other information. This username is your email. So whatever email you put in, that's going to be what you're going to use to log in. So theoretically, that should be your Northwest email. Although you can use your personal email, but personally, it's better to use your Northwest one. Password can be whatever password you want. And I'm getting pop-ups because of some of the stuff I've had installed on the computer, but you can ignore that. Now, you don't have to fill out alias or ID number, Blackboard ID, cell number, or any of these other things. You do have to fill out the secret question. What is your father's middle name? What is your pet's name? Pick whatever question you want and type it in there. And that's how they can communicate if you forget your password or something like that. So your username, that will be the entire thing you log in with. And then password. You may want to write it down on that card and keep it off to the side or keep it in your book. Now once you have all of that, you hit save and it'll let you log in. Now I'm going to back out of myself here and just log in so you can kind of see what you should see. Now the first time you log in, it should look a little bit like this here. There'll be a calendar and some things. You may get a little pop-up you can just kind of ignore at the top. But this is what you should see on your screen. Very first thing you should do is go to sections. You need to join this section. So sections, and there shouldn't be anything listed here, but you're going to click join a section. And mine should be relatively near the top if I set it up correctly. It should be somewhere up in here. But what you're looking for is your particular section. Now if you're in my online class, you're going to look for the section that is basically the same as you. Now if you don't know which section you're in, you can go to Canvas and look at that. It will tell you which section you're in. If you're in my physical classes, then you just pick the time. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 5:10, so on. And there should be a little green arrow to the right. You click that and you're in the class. Now, most of these SAM classes are set to automatically let you in. So if you click 4 or 5 things, you're going to be in 4 or 5 classes. So just pick this one. Don't pick 3 or 4 others. Because the teacher themselves have to bump you out. You can't just drop the class yourself. If you end up in like 3 or 4 classes, you're going to end up with a bunch of assignments showing up, half of which are not mine. So make it easy on yourself. Just find the class you're in and click the little arrow in the right, and you'll be enrolled in it. Once you do that, you can hit Activities. And you should see this little drop down has a number next to it. Probably 2 would be my guess. If you click the drop down, you will see a list. Now I have considerably more because it considers me to be in every one of my sections. But you guys should have just the 2. I've got Word 1 SAM 1, and there should be a Word 1 SAM 2 as well. If you click on that, this pops up, and you can click Start. And after a short little break, it should load up eventually. Now, you do need an internet connection, obviously. If you're watching this, you should have one. There we go. Now, I'm going to give you the tour of what this is and what you have to do. Upper left corner, task list. If you click that, this shows you everything you've got to do. And I'll back up a little bit. You can restart, you can move through the questions. As you can see, this one has 14. I can restart the question or actually speed through. Here's the list of how things work. Intro tells you what you're going to be doing. Gives you a little bit of information if you have a Mac or whatnot. This is what I have to do. I have to create a new blank document for this particular one of those trainings. So all these are trainings, and they consist of 3 parts. The first part is observe. You click that and you get this. It's basically a video. There is talking that's going on as well. Not sure if you can hear it or not, but if you have speakers, you'll hear this robotic voice talking. It's gotten a little better. I requested Morgan Freeman and they said they couldn't afford it. I think that would have been better anyway. But basically, they're going to show you exactly what they want you to do. watch the video, see what they actually did. Now you can go to the next mode, which is either practice or apply. If you click practice, then they're still going to talk, but you can actually interact with it this time. Now you can't interact with this until they basically finish talking, so you have to kind of wait for them to finish. You can speed it along a little bit by adjusting the playback speed. And this is just going to walk you through the same thing you just did, but with a little guided help. Now, there are numerous different ways to actually complete this particular thing. Specifically, they want whichever way they're showing you usually. Now, let's say, for example, I did apply. This is the only one that counts. If you do the apply, it'll count that you did it. The practice doesn't count, the observe doesn't count. You have to do the apply for it to say that you finished the whole thing. Now, normally I could, if I wanted to make a new blank document, just go down here, right click, and just click Word. And ta-da! It completes. Now they showed you one specific way. Boom. In the old SAM, you had to do it that one specific way. In this one, there's generally a couple of different ways to do it. Most of this stuff you'll see is interactive up here. Once I get to apply, there we go. I can click on all the menus, I can click on different things. If you do something you're not supposed to, you know, it may give you a little ding and say, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. Task incorrect. In this one, they want us to make a blank document, so if I follow their steps, file, new, blank document. But again, there's numerous different ways. Doesn't look like the start menu works, but this particular way did. If I follow their path, same thing. It says I completed, it goes to the next one. As you complete, you'll get check marks. And once you get all of them check marked, you're pretty much done. So let's see here. There are some Mac hints if you have a Mac. This is typically going to show just the Windows version. Mac version does it a little different. Now when you finish, it should tell you that you got 14 out of 14. So once you're done, boom, you can just pretty much exit out. It'll probably ask you, do you want to exit? You'll say yes. So once you got 14 out of 14, you can go ahead and go to the next assignment, which is, in this case, Word 1 SAM 2. And I can just click Start. And then this one is going to have, I think, 15, if I remember correctly, once it loads up. Once you do both of those, that's your entire training for the SAM for right now. There's one assignment that's going to be posted in Canvas that's straight from the book. You do that, and you'll submit that on Canvas. As of this video, it's not posted yet. Or as of this recording, it's not posted yet, but it will be. You'll go to Modules, and further down you'll see Concepts Week 4. You'll see the test, which is going to be this week, and you'll also see the Word assignments. You'll see 2 for SAM, which you can't do anything, they're just going to have a link to the SAM website, and you'll see 1 for the bookwork, which will tell you what page it starts on. It'll give you whatever files you need, pictures, and then you just basically do what the assignment says.